Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. And today, if you'll notice, we have um, a puzzle that looks somewhat familiar. As we've done two of, I guess it's a series, you could almost call it now, from Megan033 of these fog puzzles. This one is Zipper Through the Fog, and I'm struggling to remember exactly the I know one of them was Whispers in the Fog, and I can't remember off the top of my head the name of the other one, but they all have a very similar theme in that you get a portion of this box one that's not covered in fog, everything else is, and then you get some rule sets that will help you determine how to proceed. So that said, let's get into this one. Like I said, this is Zipper Through the Fog by Megan033. And we've got rules we can get into. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contain the digits 1 through 9. There is one and only one purple zipper line, although which each pair of digits that are the same distance from the line's central cell, indicated by a filled purple circle, must sum to the digit in that central cell. So all that is saying is this is the zipper line. It might go, all the way around this thing, and probably does, but we don't want to make that assumption because I made an error on the last time I did one of these puzzles where I thought I had an idea of what something was going to be. I didn't want to use that as a determination, but I ended up just having a brain fart and did anyway. So all I'm trying to say is this zipper could go anywhere, and we don't know where it goes because it's hidden in fog. And that's all we know. It's all we're going to think about it until we prove otherwise. But we do know that that this is that central point that Megan has pointed out to us, and that everything equidistant away from it must add up to this digit. So whatever this digit is, let's say it's a 7, these two digits would equal 7. These two digits would equal 7 because they are equidistant away from that point. Now, the grid is partially covered fog. As we can see, correctly placed digit will clear the fog around the cell. No guessing is required, and let us not guess to do so. But what that means is if we guessed, if we figured out by clues that are available, whatever this digit is, and we solved it correctly, all of these cells around it would be cleared of fog. Now, the remaining clues that we have, which we may or may not be able to see all of them at this point, is we've got a black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. So that's Kropki dot. We do not have any black dots visible at the moment. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values. So we do have a couple of those showing here. So whatever this digit is, this one is consecutive with it. Not all dots are given, so there are no negative constraints on that one. Now we've got digits in a white circle must appear at least once in 4 surrounding cells. So we get a little taste of one of those here. The 6 that's poking out is what this is describing. So it means there must be a 6 in one of these 4 surrounding cells. Now there's most likely another digit on the other side of this fog that we cannot see yet, which will tell us what else must go in that area, but we do not know that. Cells with a filled square must be even. We do not see those yet, but assume that there's one here just as an example. It would be a gray cell filling most of this that cell, and that would tell you that that square must be even, or that digit must be even. And then digits in a cage do not repeat, and some of the clue in the top left corner. Again, we don't have any visible right now, so we can't say. Let's just make this as an example. Let's say there's a cage showing in here. These 3 digits would add up to whatever the value is in that top left corner, whatever it may be, or wherever they may be. And those are our rules. So let's get into this one and see if we can figure out what the heck needs to be done to get this solved. So where to start? Well, clearly we have to start in our first box. Now, interestingly enough, we do have quite a few digits on white Kropki dots. Can we use that for any value? Well, we know there are 5 consecutive digits, so we know that one of these has to be a 5. We don't know necessarily where it is, Um, but it would be on, I guess we also, no, we know this digit can't be certain things. So it can't be a 1, because then you can't add 2 digits together to make 1. It can't be 2, because you can't add 1 and 1. You'd break this box. It could be as low as 3. With a, well, no, it can't be, because this specific box tells us it cannot be. Because if this was a 3, we'd have to have 1, 2 here and 1, 2 here. The same goes with 4. This can't be a 4. So it has, so if it was a 4, these would be 1, 3, and these would be 1, 3. Again, breaking. Now, so what does that mean? It means that this digit has to at least be 5, but we know it's not 5 because we just said we've got a 5 cell area here where we've got white Kropki dots. So therefore there must be a 5 up here. So this has to at least be 6, which makes sense because if we're going to have multiple zipper sums add up to a given digit, depending on the extent of where that zipper may or may not go, could require quite a few options. So the higher the digit, the more options you clearly have. Now, we know that there cannot be, well, I guess we actually do know something about this digit. Can there ever be a 9 on here? And the answer is going to be no, because if there is a 9, we've got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Well, what the heck do we put here then? Nothing. Now, we can't put a 9 on a zipper line, because if you put a 9 on a zipper line, then you have nothing to go in the circle, the central cell, because you have to be 9 plus 0 to equal 9, and in that instance, first off, we don't have any zeros in this puzzle, and 2, you'd have 2 9s in the same thing. And we just said you can't have a 9 on any of these, so this has to be a 9. So that's a start. It's the most useless, I won't say it's useless, but it's the most non-helpful digit that we could possibly put here. Only because it leaves every opportunity of 2-digit additions to create that 9. What it does do is it also states now that we have to have a 4 on here. So I'm going to put those in for now, just so that they're there. Because we either have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, or somewhere in between those two. So therefore, the 4 and the 5 repeat for both of those options. Now, this cannot be a 4 or a 5, because if it is, that forces a 4 or a 5 on its opposite, and therefore we'd have a pair of 4 5s here, and then whatever one is not on the zipper line and on the Kropki dot, we wouldn't have a place to put the other one here. That makes sense. I don't know if I described that very well, but if this was a 4 or 5, this would have to be a 4 or 5. And then the other digit that's left over that has to go up in here has no place to go. So we can remove 4 and 5 from there. Now, is there anything on these ends that we can determine? Because this digit, no, it could be a 5. Yeah, I don't think these ends are going to give us a ton. Maybe this particular cell is going to be constrained some. By that I mean, can this, let's say, I'm going to make sure I'm not accidentally typing in a digit I don't want to type in. Full. Could this ever be a 6? Well, if it's a 6, this obviously can't go to 7, 8, 9. It has to go 5, 4, 3, 2. But there also has to be a 3 here to be able to have a 6 and a 3 equal to 9. So that's not a 6. Again, we said it can't be 4 or 5 either. Can it be 7, let's say? If this is 7, this has to get down to 2. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 7 would work. The same would be true for 8. And then flipping it over, I think we'd have 1 and 2 would also be possible on this side. Because you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 1 would go with an 8. If you had 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 2 would go with a 7. Like I said, you can't have 3 the same way you couldn't have 6. You've got 3 here. You'd have to go upward because you couldn't go 2, 1, and then back up to 2. You'd have to do 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And therefore, the 3 would also need a 6 here. We already used it here. So I think what we're saying is these have to be from 1, 2, 7, and 8. Now, can we reduce this digit to something? If this is a 1, let's say, we've got 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this would be 5. If this is a 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If this is 8, we're going down 7, 6, 5, 4. And if this is 7, it would go down to 3. So that's not really great. I think we can remove 4s and 5s from this here. Because you've just said that if this is, the options here are 1, 2, 7, and 8, if I did that correctly. And if it's 8, we said 8, 7, this would be 7. If this is 7, this would be 6. If this is 1, this would be 2. And if this is 2, this would be 3. So 4 and 5 don't work there. Now this could be 4 or 5. This could be 4 or 5 as well. Maybe it's these two now we can start looking at as to what they could be. Because again, we can't put 4 or 5 on these. We know that. We can't, I don't believe we can put 3 or 6 either. Because again, we'd do the same issue that we had up here. If we put 3 and 6 here, we'd end up with 1, 2, 3. Doesn't work. 2, 3. Doesn't work. 8, 7, 6. Doesn't work. 7, 6. Doesn't work. So these can't be 4, 5, or 2, or 3, 6. So we're getting, I think we're getting into a 1, 2, 7, 8 quadruple that are given. And then we can, so we know we'd have a 6 in one of these because we've got this 6 clue looking at us. And I guess what we also know is that these two, because we can see the line goes off in both directions. So these two digits have to equal up to 9 in some way. Now, I don't know if I want to type in everything for this yet. There might be something that gets pushed down into a given area. So I guess I'll give it a look at it. I usually don't like to mark this much, but we'll give it a try because these ones, in the past, it's taken a little bit of grinding down to figure out where the actual start is. So I'll continue the trend, let's say. So if this is 1, this is 2. If this is 2, it's 3. If it's 7, it's 6. And if it's 8, it's 7. And then we can continue going up. So we've got 3, 4, 6, 5. This would be 3, 4, 5. We're coming back down. It's 7, 6, 5. And then 6, 5, 4. So this is just 4 or 6. And then this would be continuing to go 2, 3, 4 to the 5, 3, 4, 5 to the 6, and yeah, then 5 and 4 to the 3 and the 4. So what does that do? Well, we know this isn't 7. So if this can't be 7, because we have the 1, 2, 7, 8 quad, this therefore can't be 8. So we can start removing a little bit more. So we've now taken out the possibility of this being an 8, which means this can't be a 1. And therefore this can't be a 6. Can this ever be a 4? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can't be a 4 anymore. Which is kind of interesting. So we've got a 4 up here as a given. We've got an 8 down here as a given. So one of these also, well, we got 1, 2, 7, 8. I just didn't quite take it far enough. This can't be a 2 either. So we're going back the other way, so this can't be a 1. So that can't be a 1. This can't be an 8. That gives us our 2, 7 pair. Now we've got something going a little bit here. So there's only going to be 2 options now going this way, and I think we might end up seeing what this digit is. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, or no, we don't actually see what that is. 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7, 6, 5, 4. So this one is never a 3. And this one's never going to be a 5. So there we go. We've got it kind of ruled down to its base pairs. Now, is there anything I want to make sure I'm just not missing a rule that I might have seen previously and did not retain in my memory? No. Okay. Now, what is this giving us? Which is a good question. There's usually a little bit of logic in here that, at least for me, I found it a little hard to suss out at first. So it's to get us, because we've got to start getting one of these 2 digits. One of these 4 digits has to be something we can figure out to let us start expanding our fog. Now, if this was I think this is what it is now. If this was a 6, this would have to be a 3. So you'd have 3 and 6 pointing at this. So this can never be 6. So this is 6, and that's going to give us our opening. There it is. Okay, good. All right. We are out of the early fog. Now we can start moving on. So what we've got is 6 and 7 is now the digit we see on this. So the 7 is one of these 2. If this was a 7, it would force this to be a 3. That seems like it would work just fine. Now we know that this has to be, what, an even digit, I believe? What was it? Sometimes I get mixed up with my squares and circles for filled, and filled squares is even. Okay. It's not something I remember right off the top of my head. Let's make sure we're not on our solve a digit mode here, so I don't accidentally hit something here. But we know these have to be from 2, 4, and 8 then, and they're not 8. So this is either 2 or 4, and this has to be consecutive with it. Now this, if it was 2, this could never be 1 because it forced this to be a 9. So this, if this is 2, this has to be 3, and therefore this has to be 7. This is 4. You can go down to 3, 7 the same, or, well, no, it can't. So that just doesn't work. You can't go up to 5 because then you'd have to have 5, 5. So this ends up just being 3 and 7. And therefore we get 2 and 7. That's going to give us a little bit over here. It's going to give us our 6 and our 3 and our 5 and our 4. And we are into the puzzle, which is good. This 11 clue, can I do anything with that just yet? It's one of these because these have been now revealed to us. Well, this 7 right here is our next clue because it's going to tell us that this right here has to be 2 because they have to equal 9. So this is, no, stay there, 2. Okay, now that does reveal a black Kropki dot, which we had not seen previously. I want to look at this 11 a little closer though. Now, we can't put a 9 on an 11 because a 3-cell 11 clue, because it has to be 911. Not good. We can't put an 8 on here either, can we? Well, maybe we could, because it could be 812. Now, if, let's say we didn't use an 8, we can't do 7 or 6 because they're here. We can't use 5, 4, or 3. So you'd end up with nothing that can go in here. So we do have to put an 8 on this line, which is good because once we put the 8, we know it has to be 812, and that's going to give us our 4, and it's going to clear some fog. So we know we're correct. Excuse me. Now, what we have here is two different digits that are left over. They are 5 and 9. So we've got a 9 looking at. This has to be 5. This has to be 9. The 5 now corresponds to this digit, which means this has to be a 4 to equal 9. And I've screwed up. Awesome. Did I? Oh my goodness. I didn't screw up. I just miscounted. This digit is not the 4. This digit is the 4. Jeez. I can't seem to go through these puzzles without making some mistake for some reason. I don't know why it is. That was just me not seeing this or counting wrong. Now, if this was a 1, this would force this to be an 8, which is fine. If this is a 2, this would be a 7. That doesn't work because we see a 7, so this is not 2. This is 8. This would have to be a 1, which works fine. So this is a 1-8 pair. We can start filling in these because we've got 3. We've got everything on these rows up to these points, so we can start correlating back as well. And I'm trying really hard not to sneeze, and I think I fixed it. Good. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 already given. So these have to be from 6, 7, and 9. This clearly can't be 9. Therefore, let's count properly this time. Not this one, but this one and this one correlate. And, this digit either has to be a 2 or a 3 to work with our 6, 7 pair. Let's go in here. We've got 1, 4, and 8. I'm trying to hold the sneeze back. It's not working as well as I thought it might. If this was a 4, it would force this to be a 5, so therefore it can't be. So that is not 4. So again, we're going to get a 1-8 here. So we've got a 1-8 pair going on, and now we've got this, which these 2 digits. Okay, here it goes. Excuse me, but there we go. Finally, so we now have 3 and a 9 have to go down here, and that's going to give us a 2. Now that we've got that 2, let's correlate it to the proper digit. This has to be 7. Let's get rid of those. So we know now this digit here is going to correlate to this digit here. Can we do anything with that? It's either a 1-8 or it goes with a 4, which is a 5. So we don't quite know that yet, but we'll get there. Ugh. So we do know something about this black Kropki dot. We know that on a black Kropki dot, you can only use the digits 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8, because 5, 7, and 9 cannot work. And we've already used the 2 and the 4. So we can't do 1, 2, we can't do 2, 4, and we can't do 4, 8. So the only thing left is a 3, 6. That 3, 6 doesn't look at anything just yet, so not all that useful. This 13, though, maybe is, because we can't put a 9 on it, because we've got a 3, 9 pair over here. So it could be 8, 5, or it could be 7, 6. There's nothing looking at it right now, so. The other thing we could maybe look at is this 7 or this 11. The 7 can't be 5, 2, so it could either be 6, 1 or 4, 3. It can't be 4, 3 because we've got a 4, 3 looking at it. So once again, only 3 ways to make a 7 on 2 cells. It's 6, 1, which is possible. It's 5, 2, which is not possible. And it's 4, 3, which is not possible. So this is 6, 1, which means this is 1 and this is 6. We get a little bit more to look at. Let's get rid of our 1 there. I guess we can look at this digit because it's semi-given. I might as well just put them all in because I've already done it for the rest of them. So this is from 2, 3, and 5. Now, if this was 2, this would be 9. If this was 3, this would be 8. And if this was 5, this would be 6. So we know that's not 5, but that only gives us a little bit. So this is 8 or 9 right now. Next in line, maybe, well, these 2 are the ones that correlated. So then these 2 must correlate in some way to equal 9. So 2, 7 works, 3, 6 works. 5 does not work because there's no way to put a 4 here. So this is not 5. Gives us a 2-3 pair, so we can put our 5 in and it clears some room, so we know we're correct again. Now we can continue this correlation just going back the other way. This is either 2 or 3, so this has to either be 6 or 7. So that removes 5 and 8 from both of these, because it has to be a 6-7 pair. It's the only way that works. Oh, excuse me, I don't know why I'm getting a little stuffed up all of a sudden. I do know. 5 can never be more than 2 cells. And there's only 2 ways to make a 5 in 2 cells, is 1, 4, and 2, 3. Well, this can't be 1 or 2, so this can't be 4 or 3. I don't see anything crossing over there to help us out, so. Now, can we continue along our path through the fog here? I don't think I can really do much in terms of what these digits can be right now. So maybe there's something Sudoku-wise we can do in some of these rows that are getting, or columns which are getting close to being kind of sorted out. We have to put a 5 in one of these two. Nothing's looking at it. Well, 5 could go in one of these 3, sorry. We have to put a 7 in this column somewhere, and it can't go in any of these, so it must go here. This has to be from 1, 5, and 8, because that's the only 3 cells, or 3 digits left here. So we end up with a 1, 5, 8 triple. We've got the 3, 9 double, the 6, 7 double, and the 2 already given. So this therefore has to be a 4. And again, we are correct. Good. Next in line, we've got an 8. Now we can't do 7, 1. We can't do 6, 2. Obviously, you can't do a 4, 4. So this has to be a 5, 3 pair. Now that sadly does not see anything else at the moment. But maybe this one right here does. So let's do our count. These 2 are connected. These 2 are connected. And these 2 are connected, which means these 2 would be connected. We can see this runs off of this path here, and then we know this one runs here, so these 2 must be connected. So this has to be either a 6 or a 4, or 6. No, that didn't quite get me anything. Or does it with this Kropki dot? Now, if this was a 4, this could be a 3. Because it can't go up to 5 because it sees it. If this is 6, it doesn't go down to 5 because, again, it sees it, but it could go up to 7. So that's a 3, 7 possibility. Again, that's not super useful. Now, the 3 can't go up to a 4, so it would have to go down to a 2. And this might not be giving me anything, but it's a clue that's clear to me now that I can see. So I'm going to give it a try and see if it gets me anywhere. And the 7, therefore, could go up to an 8. So we've got a 2, 8. So as predicted, it didn't give me anything. There's not quite enough information there yet. Now, is there anything I can do with these 2? I looked at them previously. I didn't think there really was much. And I might not still think there really is anything. Because all I can really do is rule out 1, 2, 6, 7, and 9. Which means they could be 3, 4, 5, and 8. But I guess I can do a little bit, because if this was an 8, you'd have to put a 1 here, so this can't be an 8. If these were 5 or 4, this would have to be... Oh, if this was a 4, this would have to be a 5. It can't be, so this is not 4. This is 5. This would have to be 4, which it could be. And if this was 3, this would have to be 6, which it can't be. So actually, it did get something by doing that. It didn't seem like there was enough information out there, but that turns out to be a 4, which means this has to be a 5. And that's a little bit more to work with. I don't think that 5 ended up doing anything, though. that I can see. I mean, it puts a 5 in one of these. In fact, this cannot be a 5 because it sees both a 4 and a 6. So this is the 5. So the 5 worked out better than I thought it was because there's no 5s in any of those. So therefore, one of these two would have to be a 5. And that one gets ruled out by the Kropki dot. Okay. What's left up here, maybe? So we've got 1, 8, and 9. Appear to be the options. This can't be 1. Can this be 1? Yes, because that could be 2. Could this be 8? Yes, because this could be 9, and this could be 9 because that could be 8. Well, no, this actually can't be 1, because if it's 1, this is 2, and then this is a broken digit. So this is not 1, which forces our 1 here. Now, where did that correlate? I think it's this one. Let's make sure we get the right one. So 1, 2, 3, the fourth one away. 1, 2, 3, the fourth one away. So this is 8. That's 2. That's 1. These two digits we now know from the column. So they are from 8 and 9. So this is an 8-9 pair. Looks like it might start storming outside. I don't know if you can tell it's gotten a little darker or not. Okay. We've got an 8-9 pair here as well, which means this has to be from 3 or 4, because that's all that's left in this row. That doesn't really look like it gave us a lot. Well, this 8-9 pair actually gives me this. So this is a 2. So the work I did previously is going to work out. That's got to be 3. That's got to be 4. This is 3. So this is 2. That's 4. And that 3 here sees the 6 and the 3. So there we go. We got some work out of that. Now, we got a lot more zipper line showing. Let's look at these two because one of them's on the zipper and they are fairly well reduced as to what they can be. They can be 5 and 7, and that 5 right there shows that's a 7 and a 5. Now this is the end of the zipper line, so this one must be a 2 to equal 9. And these two digits are left. They are 1 and what? 1 and 9? So therefore this must be 1. You can't put a 9 on the zipper line. So there we have that. Now if this was 1, again, I've got to figure out where it correlates back again. So it's 1, so let's go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 12th one away. 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 is this one. So this has to be an 8. There. Now we can start fixing our 8s and 9s across the board. 2s and 3s fall into line. 1s and 8s fall into line. That 8 right here gives me the 1 up here, so these 1s can go away. Where else do we keep going? So these can't be 8s, which means this is 8. Now this 8 correlates with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 6, right? Okay, it did work out. I already had that one, that's why I couldn't see it quite right away. Okay, now let's continue. So we've got 6, 7, and 8 left in this row. Now we know this 2 is correlating with this one because they're both 1 away from the end, so this has to be 7. Removes the 7s from both of those. That 7 doesn't see anything just yet, but that's okay. Now these two digits are going to have to add up to 9. What do I have left in my column? I've got 3, 6, and 5. So these have to be from 3 and 6, which means this is 5. That 5 is going to see the 1, the 5, the 3. Stupid mouse again. This is 5, sorry. 3, 5, 6, 3. That 3 sees the 9 and the 3. And we're almost done. That gives us a little party in the corner there. This has to be a 7. These have to be from 1 and 6. Let's make sure I'm in the correct mode so I don't start accidentally hitting any digits. These have to be from 1 and 9. So therefore this has to be 1, this has to be 9. These two are together, I believe, right? No. Sorry. The 1, 2, 3, the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has to be 4. That does clear everything out. So now we get 8 and 4. We get 6 and 9 and 1 and 6. And we are on our way to finishing this puzzle, which went quite smoother than the last one I did, which is good. So this is 2. These have to be from 7 and 8. Is that correct? 7 and 8, yes. So where's one of these two has to be on the line somewhere that's telling, or both of them actually are. Let's just find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9th one away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 3 correlating with our 6 and our 7 and our 8 and our 6 and our 8 and our 7. And check. You solved the puzzle. Solution is correct. That made me nervous for a second when it didn't automatically tell me it was right. But anyway, zipper through the fog. That's the 3rd one that I've done. There may be more that have been done in this general format. But once again, beautiful solves. Fog of War, I always love them. Like I said, I got through the beginning part much quicker than I did the last one and without making any errors, which is also a plus. So Megan, once again, thank you for making these puzzles. This one was, as usual, plenty of fun. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.